This is episode 216, pass on what you learn, right? That's what we always get told. Leave it better than you found it. But the biggest part is pass on what you learn. There's actually a handful of people that, written a couple books called Pass It On. I did read one copy of it. But it's interesting because, and I'll kind of dive more into it, that's how we get better, right? So first, talk about, we have a recruit class going on right now. So me and another captain, we were teaching them search. And what was interesting was all four of the individuals in our recruit class, we actually taught them in the fire academy when they went through there. So this was kind of just all a refresher for them. And so this is something that we've learned through teaching at the fire academy and the recruit school. When we teach search, pretty much our main bread and butter for residential is going to be oriented search. And we do also teach VES for it. But for oriented, in the academy, we always saw a disconnect happening when we would take the student and put them in the role of the officer. And we saw the same thing in the recruit class. And what we started learning was that they just don't have the experience or the skill set yet to be in that position. That's why it's an officer position. So we removed using recruits or students to play the officer, and we would jump in with it. So as far as our recruit school goes, basically myself or the other captain that are teaching it, we just grab one of the recruits. We just treat it like we're on an engine company and a two-person team because the engineer's still outside doing whatever, and we go and do a search. And so what we saw was we have an 800 square foot building that our training division turned into an apartment complex, or apartment building, I should say. And it took us, on average, either me, the other captain, or myself, with a brand new person, roughly 3 minutes to search the whole place and remove one victim. And sometimes we're better, some took longer with it, but the average seemed to be about 3 minutes. We thought that was a pretty good time with it. Talking with the training division, the department average, I want to say, was 5 minutes, and then some crews were taking 12 to 15 minutes to complete this evolution. What's the difference? How can a company officer take a brand new person and have an average time of 3 minutes? I personally think it's we set them up for success with it, right? We break the skills down and making sure their body positions are right and they're not wasting time, all right? It's been communicated. I used to always state, hey, if you can't see your feet, get low. And I still hold true to that. But the biggest thing is if you don't get low, you're going to miss someone. Plain and simple. You move faster in that crouched position. And so the new guys, they have good habits with it. They follow our lead with it. And that's why we were able to finish this drill in such a quick time compared to other companies. So it came down to body positioning, training them to what we wanted, right? Communication, and the officer leading. Officer, we weren't in the back. We were leading, and we're telling them, come here, search this room. We might search the hallway real quick. And then we kept directing them. So all they had to do was concentrate on searching, and it worked really well. It's experience-based decision-making, right? We spent our time trying to, we don't get as many fires as we'd like, so we spent our time trying to learn from other people. Some people are lucky enough to have mentors. We sought them out, and we picked this stuff up, and then we just trained on it, did it on instance, and saw the improvement with it. And so that's what we share, is what works with it. So what was interesting is what we ended up being told by one of the people in the training division is, man, they really wish we would teach the other officers how to go about this. And at first I was kind of like sitting there thinking of them, and I was kind of, I guess, frustrated at first because I'm like, well, why don't they know it? But then I stopped myself. If you're watching this, odds are you probably go after your own experience. You seek out mentors. You don't just wait for it and rely on your own experiences to have best practices. People I work with, not everyone did go out and take these conferences, classes, trainings, and stuff like that. So I guess it is up to us to show them. So I don't know if something's going to get set up or not. Me and the other guy were like, hey, we'll do whatever, but it's got to be a department-driven event that, hey, we want us trained on this. And I really do think it would work because somewhere along the line, we stopped passing stuff on and stopped practicing best practices. I don't know if it was, I can attribute it to lack of fires going down, lack of experience. So everyone's like, well, this worked, right? It worked so far. You maybe have anything challenge you to that point with it. So I thought that was interesting because I was having a conversation with a guy, and I said, man, things I know now, I would have done so many things different earlier in my career as far as on scene of incidents, fires, stuff like that. I just wish I would have had this experience and knowledge and skills back then that I do now. And it was interesting. He goes, well, listen up. He goes, you did your job. He goes, you got to understand, you guys sharing what you know helps the younger guys make better decisions because they're learning from your experiences. So you did your job fine. Just you're helping others by sharing it. It was interesting. So that brings me to like the lesson of the day with it. Sharing our experiences and our lessons learned help the next generation. So we have to share that. People shouldn't have to figure things out for themselves. Anything I learn, I just try to pass it on with stuff. Trying to be the company officer I never had with it, right? So go out, get the experiences. But that's the hard part, right? Is bringing it back to our department. So that's why actually at the Orlando Fire Conference, I'll be teaching how to hot. And it's all designed about how to bring the fire conference back to your firehouse, because you have to share those experiences with other people. I've talked about it in previous podcasts, probably videos, that I was asking a couple of my guys once, hey, how come you guys aren't going to these conferences? I don't understand. I'm going, you want to come with me? And they're like, why would we go? We have you. And I'm like, touche, right? Because I'll come back and I do the trainings with them and they get the same thing and they don't have to leave town for it. So it works, right? Someone's got to go out there and get it, bring it back, share those experiences. That's how we become better, plain and simple with it. So pass on what you learn, because that's going to help out. You did your job, right? So that's all I got for you guys. Hope you got something out of this. If you did, do me a favor, share it with somebody else. As always, head over to brothercoaching.com. Get your free resources. Check out some other stuff. Talk to you next time.